we kind of brought both you and Jules on at the same time to talk about the same thing, but she's kind of really talked about the blocking of the Pride Parade. Why don't we talk with you now? Maybe we'll start with a story from tonight's news about the library events, because that's more sort of in your warehouse to do with, our drag queen story time. Yeah. So let's have a look at the story from tonight, because the story has continued to evolve.
Horrified, shocked and scared. A teenager caught inside Auckland's Te Ata 2 library has spoken out about what she witnessed over the weekend when it was stormed by Destiny Church members.
If you haven't seen this, I'm gonna spoil it. There is a teenage girl now, because of the actions of Destiny, who has a concussion. So this is not peaceful, right? This is not peaceful.
Protesting against a Pride event there. As police continue to investigate allegations of assault, calls are growing for the church to lose its charitable status. Isabel Prasad reports.
They came inside and they were trying to get up the stairs, and the library staff were just trying to calm them down and to tell them they can't come upstairs. And then
It wasn't in this footage, but I know I was looking at some footage over the weekend, and one of the gentlemen at the front of this group, I'm not going to say which one it was in case I get it wrong, because these guys are litigious in the worst sense of it. But without question, there's an elbow, like a elbow push like this on, I think maybe this gentleman here. So it's a clear-cut assault. So if they want to do it, they can. It's on film. I've seen it.
And they were trying to get up the stairs, and the library staff were just trying to calm them down and to tell them they can't come upstairs. And then they got wrapped up and started trying to hit people.
Evie and her friends caught up in Saturday's protest.
I was shocked. I didn't know what they were doing and why they were doing it.
The teenager was attending a dodgeball tournament.
I was questioning that, guys. A dodgeball tournament. So this is not just about a library. She was attending a dodgeball tournament and got caught up in it. So I'm assuming that this is a complex of which the library is a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was at a dodgeball event.
I think it's like a full
Destiny Church
thing.
Yeah.
Members swarmed Te Ata 2 library, attempting to shut down a Rainbow Storytime for young children.
She saw a young lady who she'd been playing with and who she knew quite well get shoved and pushed and punched. She was just horrified, I think, that anybody would come and do that to people. It was a good, fun family event, something that she was really enjoying.
The chaos and disarray of Saturday's incident, today replaced with a sense of calm, as staff and local residents reclaimed the space with a blessing.
The karakia was called by the kaimahi of the library. They put their bodies on the line to keep that event safe, to keep people safe, and it was important for us as a community in West Auckland to gather around them.
But the weekend's events still roar.
Children terrified by the screaming and shouting and shoving and punching. One 16-year-old girl now is being treated for concussion. That shouldn't be happening, especially not in the name of religion.
It's my community, it's both my communities, the Rainbow community plus the TRT community. It just hurts.
Police are continuing to investigate allegations of assault.
Well, I'd like to see the police upholding the law. Take the kid gloves off, treat everybody equally, and Destiny Church, if they break the law, they should be punished.
Calls are also mounting for Destiny Church to be stripped of its charitable status. This petition from
Yeah, that's interesting, eh? We'll get to the end of the story before we chat about it. But Family First lost their charitable status, and I believe one of the conditions was, too much political lobby work sort of thing. And how these guys can still have it is well beyond me. We'll just give this another 30 seconds.
A year ago, receiving thousands of signatures in the past 48 hours.
Well, I think there's a broader question at play, which we've said that we would look at in due course around the registering charities.
For the Te Ata 2 community, standing together in unity is paramount.
It's all about, to me, community safety, our people being free to love and live in the places they grow up in.
With plans to hold more Pride events over the coming month. Isabel Prasad, One News.
All right. Sunita, the drag king that was involved in the event, doing a science exercise. Apparently they thought it was an R18 science exercise, whatever the fuck that is. Do you want to, obviously I assume you've been in contact, been in touch. Do you want to let us know what's going on, what's happened, how things are on that end of things?
So this drag queen is probably the most talented person I have ever known. I've worked with them. They've done work with my company as well, and they are the most professional person I know. They've written so many books, songs, shows for children. and absolutely amazing. So because they're so professional, they don't want to really have too much going on about it in their own realm, and that's something that I go straight in there. This person doesn't, but it's just protect the safety. And you've got people from the rainbow community that are being identified in the videos and things like that too, that don't necessarily want that trauma. And so but the drag person involved and the pride community, they are understandably reeling from the whole situation, but business as usual. Let's carry on. Let's keep going with Pride Month. It's Auckland Pride at the moment. Then you've got Christchurch, you've got Wellington, heaps of them coming up. Just got to keep going forward with it.
The name of the Facebook page that you told me about, Aotearoa Truth, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Aotearoa Truth. So if people want to see more footage and stuff, there's a ton of stuff on here. Including, footage from non-edited, non-Destiny church member footage, as well as some uncut stuff in there as well. There's heaps in there. Go check it out for yourself if you want to have a look at what it's all about. But it looks pretty ugly.
Yeah,
Chewie, you got any thoughts, brother?
I've got so many thoughts about this.
Oh, really? That's not like you.
Yeah, it's shocking, right?
Shocking.
I think this is an absolutely calculated attack during Pride. There have been story times like this going around for a while, but this is specifically targeted at Pride. Maximum effect. Like they knew what they wanted to do. They have achieved that. They've shut down other story time events because, of course, councils and libraries need to manage the risk. And that is exactly what Destiny wants. They've got it.
I feel like what they did to us this time last year, and in Gisborne and Hastings and Rotorua, was kind of like dipping their toes in the water. Now they've been emboldened by that because nothing happened from that. And here they are. They're just escalating, and they're finding other ways of being able to recruit more people, and they're taking these impressionable youth to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat, you mentioned losing your charitable status. Another group that lost its charity status was Greenpeace, of all groups, and they lost their charitable status because they were too political. So I think for Luxon to be weak as is his fashion, both by saying, "Oh, I think Destiny went too far," is such a weak comment. And I have to turn to Mia Brown and go look at his statement and go, that's the statement. That's what our Prime Minister should have been saying, and sort of hiding behind the whole, we're reviewing the whole thing. No, this is very much a targeted thing right now. There have been questions about Destiny for decades. There have been questions specifically about they're wearing a patch and parading as a gang, but not being included in that list of gangs because they're a church. Are they? Are they a church? Do they get charitable status because of all the charity that they do?
The funny thing is, all of that charity goes to their own groups. They've got all of these subgroups to them: Man Up, Legacy, Boys to Men, Radical Youth Movement. That charity is going just towards it's staying in the house. It's staying within their own scope.
It's a good system.
It's a really good system. Like, great business.
There's a couple of things, right? The first is, I thought this afternoon, the only problem that I see with them losing their charitable status is the only people that will impact is the members, because it means the members won't be able to get half of their refunds back. But then I thought about it, and I thought probably Destiny Church probably expects those refunds to come back anyway. So they probably, the parishioners probably give, the parishioners get a refund back, and then they probably expect it to give that refund anyway. So there's about that. And this is the thing, and you know me, Chewie, and actually, Sunita, you probably know enough about me to know this, but I dig on the teachings of this dude, Jesus. I mean, if you just look at his pure teachings, love your enemies, look after the widows and orphans, there's not too much that you can go against. The story, whether you believe it to be factual, accurate or not, is he pushed back against power. He pushed back against characters like rabbis and Pharisees and the state.
He was woke.
He punched up. He didn't punch down. He hung out with the people of the day that were the most vulnerable. He lived with them and he ate with them, so the story goes. He actually pointed his finger at the church, not at whatever the version of a drag queen is in 2,000 years ago in that story. So what I'm saying is Destiny Church, and in particular Brian Tamaki, is the example of the kinds of people in that story that Jesus would have gone no to.
Yeah.
He's not the representative, right? He's not. He's the one that would get pointed at and go, this is not how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's just, it's really baffling me, the whole thing. It saddens me because it's making people think that that's what religion is and that's what Christianity is and that's what the church is, but it's not. Let's get that straight. This is the Church of Brian Tamaki, not the Church of Jesus or Christianity or anything like that. He's all about just being against anything that's popular. He needs to go against so he can stay in the media. I'd love to have a period of absolute silence where he is completely ignored. I don't know how that will ever work, but it would be amazing to see what happens to the poor guy.
Hey,
I think there's one other thing I point out here that Destiny's doing, and I think it's a classic thing with some churches and definitely cults, is that you want to show the people in your congregation, in your church, that you are all together and you are the guys that have the correct belief and everybody else is against you. It reinforces that feedback loop of no, your family, you're with us, your friends, and it really can radicalize people to do some absolutely out the gate stuff. So you're in this position where whatever you push back against Destiny, it'll reinforce their message. If you don't push back against Destiny, they feel emboldened. It is a lose-lose situation. So you can't think about Destiny. You have to think about their targets.
Yeah.
Am I being visible to this community that I say that the Destiny stuff is unacceptable? I say to the people that Destiny are going after, you are safe with me. And I think that's the whole idea behind Pride, right?
Yeah.
Is to show that you don't have to hide, that you can be yourself, and that is fine. And that is the message that we need to focus on when Destiny is banging their drum like they are now.
Yeah. And just the blatant lies. They literally fabricate and make up stuff and tell it like it's truth. And that gets spread around and around and around. And it's absolutely ludicrous that people get sucked into that. But that's what brainwashing is. That's what finding someone who's charismatic and, he swears in his sermons. That's why I joined his church. Me and my mum joined his church because we're like, oh, look at this brown fella that says shit in his sermons. That's pretty cool. I'm relating. And that's how he sucks you in. And then you'll just believe anything he says. Yep. It's awful. It really is.
It's a cult of personality, 100%.
Yeah.
Before we say goodbye, Sunita, can you give us maybe a 60-second update on what's happening with you guys now? Because at one stage there was a legal action, and what's happening with House of Flash, etc.
Still legal action. So lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. After we served the papers to Brian and all the rest of them, they had to ask for quite a lot of extensions, because you'll notice that Brian's lawyer du jour that he uses quite a lot isn't going to be representing him in this case. And he had to get extensions because he was having trouble finding someone to represent, I believe. And several of the other defendants as well had trouble. Some are defending themselves, and some of their retorts have been a little bit like, what? So it's quite interesting. We're now at what's called the discovery stage. So what happens now is our privacy is all on the shelf. Like right now, we have to give all of our accounts, our phones, anything digital, anything in paper, to the lawyers. They will go through it with a fine-tooth comb, look for anything that's going to weaken or strengthen the case, and he has to do that too. So it's going to be interesting. So
yeah, that's really so we're going to see all we're going to have access to all his financial accounts through the courts.
Possibly. So yeah, like every conversation that you have is going to be really sifted through. And yeah, so I've just had to come off Tinder. Like, I'm like, oh dear, I better not do that no more. But yeah, so we're at that stage. That all has to be in. Our first court date for the High Court to present that is May, end of May, I think it is. And then from there, then we'll have more dates for hearings and things like that. So it's still going.
That hoodie that you're wearing, we love selling those and flicking you guys. We got you about $700, didn't we? It wasn't bad actually for some things. So we love doing that. We do want to. I actually was thinking about you over Christmas, going, we need an update. It's a bit sad that we've got an update thanks to another shitty story, but stay in touch for the rest of this year. We certainly want more updates as you come through and what's going on with that as well, eh? Oh,
anytime. Just give me a call.
Yeah, man. All right, Sunita. You're awesome.
Guys.
Thanks for coming in. And remember what you've just been sort of ordained by Dame Jules, that you have to back yourself to keep going. That's what she said.
Oh my God. That was like legendary.
Okay, we'll talk soon, eh?
Thanks, guys. Right. See you later.
All the best.
Cheers.
Hi, Chewie. Haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, just a couple of things. Whenever Destiny, and I want to burn this into people's brains, and sometimes, in some cases, their foreheads, whenever Destiny talks about just wanting to protect children, and it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? We haven't seen it. We've seen pictures of this dude with Brian, but we haven't seen any comments from Brian about it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you truly believed that, you'd throw this guy to the wolves, wouldn't you? Not shelter him.
It would be fun. It would be fun to play a mathematical game. Brian Tamaki, how many members of your church that were in a leadership role have been convicted of sexual assault versus how many people involved with Rainbow Storytime have been convicted of sexual assault against children? We should just tot up the totals and see what we come out with. Because actually, if there's more for Destiny, maybe all the drag queens in New Zealand need to start storming Destiny to kind of protect the kids. Maybe that's what we should be doing.